Hey everyone, welcome to On Location with Gabby and Harvey. Today I am Harvey and Gabby is behind the camera. And we're joined today with Yvonne at Banh Mi Diddy. Yvonne, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for coming.
Oh yeah, no, thank you. Tell me a little bit about yourself and Banh Mi Diddy.
So my name is Yvonne. Banh Mi Diddy started last April. So we're pretty new. So we're almost coming up onto our 1 year. As for me, I have a diverse background, I guess. I wasn't necessarily in the food business before, so this is like the first restaurant that I've ever opened. So it's been a huge learning experience.
Okay, so first, how did you come up with like the name? Where did that come
Banh
from?
Mi Diddy. Oh gosh, I've been asked this a lot in the
Okay.
past little bit. But the space is named after my dad.
Mhm.
So he is Diddy. It's not.
He is Diddy.
Yeah, my dad is Diddy. So he's the one who taught me how to cook, and he kind of instilled that passion of food into me.
Oh, that's so sweet. So I heard you actually went to Vietnam to learn about bread making or how to make like a authentic banh mi. Is that tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, that is true. So I actually lived in Vietnam for 3 years, and I had obviously Vietnamese food every day, and actually a banh mi almost every day. And when I came back to Canada, I couldn't quite find the exact Saigon style baguette. So that's kind of what stimulated me to learn how to make it properly. So I was trying at home to do it in a home oven and trying different recipes, and it wasn't quite working out. And in the meantime, we were also building out this space that we're sitting in right now. And I thought, you know what, it's time to go back to Vietnam and just learn from someone who's a master in it.
So a tradition, like what is a Saigon like style baguette?
There's many different types of actually Vietnamese baguettes.
Okay.
There's like long skinny ones, and different regions of the country have different baguettes. But the Saigon style, the way I think of it, is like a bigger kind of blimp-like, airy, really airy baguette. So like almost when you squish it, it's almost flat. Like it's crispy.
Got that crispy outside?
Yeah, like a thin, crisp outside and like a really airy, soft interior.
That's cool. So you said your background, this is not what you originally, is this something you wanted to do originally, or is it like you kind of fell into it?
I think like a lot of people,
Yeah.
we have many interests, and I was always interested in food, but I didn't think it would happen necessarily in this way. But yeah, like I have a background in social work and marketing and travel, but an opportunity came up, and I thought, you know what, you only live once. Let's give this a try.
So how did you make that first step? Like, so you did social work. Where did you kind of start thinking like, you know, I want to change what I want to do. I want to make sandwiches.
I think like social work and a lot of things, it's you're serving people and you're hoping to nourish people and feeding people, and it's a community thing, and I think that's kind of where the link is. And I think I'd love to one day link kind of social work stuff to Banh Mi Diddy, like with food security and insecurity and the community. So there's, I think with like many things that we all do, there's always links, and I think food links to almost everything. So
that is very sweet. So about like the community, I know Gabby had a little question.
Yeah, no, I was going to ask you, how did you kind of, because I see the McEwen student discount and everything.
Yeah.
How did you folks kind of figure out what your demographic here was?
I think, you know, when you're doing business plans, it's like, who's your demographic? And I think for me, the location was really important to like determining who our community is. And it's really like McEwen is just right there.
Yeah.
So the students, of course, all the staff and admin team that works at McEwen, but also like the business owners around here too. Like the recycle depot's been around for ages, and like There's incredible arts institutions, like there's Snap Gallery a few blocks down, and they do cool like printmaking stuff, and like Ukrainian art centers, like our neighbors. It's just like there's really incredible businesses and different types of organizations around here, and I think like that's our community. And we're not too far from Chinatown too, which is like when I went for banh mi's when I was a kid, I would go to Chinatown.
Me too.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we're not too far from that, and yeah, you know, we still support Chinatown even though we're over here, so it's not too far from
everything.
The roots.
The roots. So there are, like, I also used to get a lot of my banh mi from Chinatown.
Yeah.
Well, what would you say Banh Mi Diddy, like how do you set apart from everyone else? What sets you guys apart?
That's a hard one. I think like every business and every restaurant has their own story. And I think really that's the difference. I think that's the difference. But I think like for bread, specifically going back to Vietnam, that has, I think, set us apart a little bit.
Like you try to be a little bit more authentic with what you do, right? I think. See, I actually had an experience with you guys about authenticity.
Oh.
And I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but one of my first orders, there was a mistake.
Oh, no.
However, I thought this was the most wholesome thing, and it made me feel like, wow, you guys are like, there's soul, and like I can feel your personality from banh mi, because I actually took a picture of a note that you sent me along with my order. So let me just pull it up.
Okay.
So here we go.
I think I remember this.
Oh.
Maybe.
Let me just show the camera first. Can we?
Did you write the notes? I wonder.
I don't know if you wrote the note,
I don't
but
know.
someone here wrote the note. It says, Harvey, sorry about the the wrong sandwich the first time you ordered. Thank you for giving us another chance.
That's so sweet. And I did not write that.
You did.
So that's even better.
It's really, I thought, like when I got my order, I actually was like, oh, well, it's the wrong sandwich, but that's fine. But when I had it, it was the first time, you know, having it here. And I thought, this is actually like really good. Like the bread really stuck out to me. And then I just like forgot about it. So the next time I ordered, the fact that I got that note, I was like, okay, I need to find you for an interview at least eventually. So I feel like authenticity, I'm not sure if it's like whoever is working with you, but I definitely feel it from the store. Do you feel like, how much of your personality do you think is reflected in your business?
I don't know if it's just my personality, but I think the team here really cares. Like I obviously really care, and the team here really cares. Like, they put 110% into making every sandwich, and they're just really kind souls. If they make a mistake, like, oh no, I forgot, I put carrots on there, and I'm like, you know what? If they're gonna be if someone's unhappy, maybe they'll come back. We can't find them. Like they'll look out the door and try and look for the person. And I think it's like they just really care. And at the end of the day, we're just making sandwiches and we're trying to feed people, but we do So
but I thought that was like so sweet, because you like I guess it comes, you from like the top down, I guess. And is that something you teach them?
Yeah, I don't know about teach, but I think like we have a great young team, and I think I've worked, to be honest, me personally, I've worked in a lot of places where, as a young female worker, you get the crap worked out of you sometimes. And I think maybe related to social work, it's just creating a space where people can do their best. Yeah, and I think that's really what I'd like to create here. It's like, yes, it's a business, but at the end of the day, my team has so many gifts and talents. Like they're artistic and their brains work in ways that aren't like mine, and I really respect that. So I think there's like a mutual respect and warmth and kindness.
Warmth and kindness. That's immediately what I felt with the bread and with the note. What's been like a favorite so far? What do people order the most?
It depends on the day. This is what I would say. Yeah. Sometimes it's a pork patty. Sometimes we're on the chicken train. Like we get, 20 20 in a row that's
Mhm.
chicken. But the cold cut is growing in popularity.
Growing in popularity?
Yeah, with
I thought it would be like the most popular one.
no, actually
Oh.
no, it's not
Wow.
necessarily. But yeah, I think it's growing in popularity, and I think more people are discovering it. I think pate kind of throws people off, some people off. So yeah,
No way.
but
That's like my favorite part.
yeah, it's nice. We're always like, try it. If you don't like it, that's okay. You know, we'll
What's-
give it a little sample.
What's your favorite one?
I like the cold cut. No, I like them
Oh.
all. I like them all, but
No.
the cold cut is my comfort one.
I love the
They're
cold
all
cut.
your favorite children. That's
Yeah.
What's been like your biggest struggle so far? Like, have you ran into something you were like, I don't know if I can, I don't know if I should do this, or like,
Daily sometimes.
Daily.
No,
Oh.
no.
hey, just like us.
Yeah, no, it's just, I mean, like any business or any line of work, the work is endless. It never ends. So you almost have to tell yourself where it ends. Because when we first opened, it was 16 to 18 hour days every day. And there was a point where mentally you're drained, physically you're drained, feet are numb, brain can hardly function.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, wait, what is this all for? Is this what am I doing?
Is this worth it?
Yeah. What's going on here? What did I get myself into? But I don't know. There's just daily like pleasures and, you know, interacting with the customers, the team, and it makes it worth it.
How did you work your way through that? Like, how did you push yourself through it?
I think you just have to set your own boundaries. Like, the work will be there tomorrow.
Right.
You know, there's work. You can only do so much in a day, and you have to think of the long game and preserve yourself for
take a break.
The deeper meaning, of like what you're doing.
Yeah. What would you say your deeper meaning is for what you're getting in there? HBO.
I think it's serving people. It sounds stupid. I really enjoy serving people, and I like sharing culture and stories. And actually, it's just that interaction, like the surprise interactions you have with like the team, customers who come in. Like, I've learned so much from people just coming in, and I think those really that's exciting for me. That's what sparks me. It's like, oh wow, you're opening a recording studio there to help people make music that may not have the funds to record their own music, like just down the street. So it's like,
I didn't know that. That's cool.
It's called Legends, and there's these two guys who are in the process of opening it. And it's like, just those interactions make having this space worth it, to be honest.
Yeah, and just even like the little interactions on a piece of paper, you don't know what might happen.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
We have a segment on the show where we ask folks, you know, if like bureaucracy, money, whatever be what it may, weren't a thing, in 5 years, where do you hope to have either like the business or like franchise or anything like that?
This guy's done some interviews, huh?
You know.
Hey, if money was no object, and I just want this space just to be the neighborhood banh mi shop. I think I mentioned it earlier. Like, I just want it to be that space where people come in. It's like, hey, how are you? You know, all our regulars come in, and I just that's kind of the main thing. And then serving more people, you know, like sharing Vietnamese food with a bigger crowd. So like, I love catering for groups, and it's just like a wonderful way to reach people. And I think like we've had like wonderful support from the community, like teachers at schools and like assistant principal from another school, and like you know, this dentist who's treating their team. And it's just like people who want to share the experience, who just happenstance to come in. I think one of the dentists who ordered, his son's changed piano lessons, and he just popped in here, and then he decided, I want to share this with my team. And I think it's just sharing and growing in that way, like in a natural community way.
Oh man, I kind of wish I lived closer, because I would definitely stop by a lot more often.
We have amazing customers who come from the south side and the north, and we really appreciate it. So,
kind of piggybacking on what Gabby just asked, like from all the wisdom you've learned now, is there anything you would do different while opening?
Different. I can't think of anything, but I know we talked about it a little bit before the interview, but like bread has taught me a lot. It sounds so cheesy, but like when the dough is mixed, it needs to rest. When the dough is worked, again, it needs to rest again. And there's just like, and it's just like how I think it's how we all need to be.
Life lessons from bread.
Yeah.
Patience and take care of yourself. Is that
I think
never.
So. I think so. Or else the bread will not work. It doesn't turn out well.
Earlier, you said that you really like sharing Vietnamese food.
Yeah.
Is there any Vietnamese food that that people aren't familiar with here that you would like to share? That if money wasn't an issue.
Oh gosh, money and time.
Money and time were an issue. Because I love Vietnamese food.
I'm very much. I think there's so many people who do really cool things like sharing Vietnamese street food and stuff here in Edmonton. The owner of My Mai, she like brought out bun cot. Like she's doing like really cool stuff.
What's that?
It's like a fried like little yellow pancake with like shrimp on it, and it's like so delicious. And she's based on the south side. And then there's this other restaurant called Go Chin in Chinatown, and they're doing like stuff that I've never seen here, like they have like a weekly special, and I think people are doing a good job of sharing like lesser known Vietnamese stuff. But I love like home Vietnamese food. Like I really love the jiao, like congee, and like stuff that I don't know if it would be a hit.
Is that what congee is called? How do you say it?
Jiao. We say jiao. Yeah, jiao. I love
it's
like
joke in Cantonese.
It is. Yeah, that's right. My mom actually speaks Cantonese too.
No way.
I love those. Yeah, those like home dishes.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, I don't know if they will fly here, but I hope like one day we can share more of that stuff.
Let's take some time to make some bread.
Okay.
All right, hey everyone, welcome back. We are all decked out. Yvonne, what are we doing now?
We're going to mix some dough and hopefully do some shaping and rolling.
All right.
Yeah.
Shaping and rolling.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get started.
So what we're going to do first is add all the ingredients to the mixer. So do you want to give it a try?
Sure, yes.
So you can add in the water.
Okay.
I mean,
I just dumped this. All right, okay, cool.
That's perfect.
Sometimes I'm scared if I'm like...
Yeah. Okay. And then the flour.
All right. Look at me making bread.
And you can just give it a little perfect.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's great. Ideally, we would leave this in for at least 5 minutes, but for the sake of this, we'll just keep going. So we're gonna add in some other ingredients. We're gonna add in a little bit of salt.
A little bit of salt. Do I just sprinkle this over?
Yeah, just sprinkle it in. Woo. And then we've got a little bit of sugar.
Okay. Almost dropped that. That's
yeah.
Bad. I'll just put it over here.
Yeah. And we got some yeast. Yeah. We used to use fresh yeast, but you can use fresh or dry yeast. And then we have this final ingredient. This is a little secret that Vietnamese bakers taught me. And it's actually a little bit of vitamin C or ascorbic acid, and that just helps to make a Vietnamese baguette.
Is it different from like other baguettes? Like it's very specific to Vietnamese?
I think there's some bakers that use it, but it's just something that was that I learned when I was in Vietnam, and I thought that was really interesting. And you'll find it if you read other recipes. Other bakers use it as well for Vietnamese baguettes. Yeah, so now we just close this, and then we're gonna mix this for about 8 minutes or so.
All right.
Just turn on our mixer.
Wow.
I respect bakers who used to do this by hand.
By hand. How long would this take by hand?
I couldn't tell you. I haven't done a batch this big. We're actually doing a smaller batch, but yeah, it would take, for me, it would probably take about 45 minutes to get it, the gluten development.
It's actually very mesmerizing. Have you ever stood here and just like watched it?
Yeah, this is my morning meditation.
Yeah, I'd zone out on this.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
So, Right now, it just needs to mix for around 8 minutes and to let the gluten develop. So we have a really like nice strong dough.
Ah.
Yeah.
So earlier you mentioned that you cooked a lot with your dad,
Yeah.
but you guys haven't done any baking, right? Like, how did you? Was it difficult to go from that to?
Yeah. So growing up, I was always in the kitchen with my parents. I was always really curious what they were doing. So cooking was something I learned. It feels innate. It feels really natural. But we hardly ever baked, or like for Asians making things, we steamed a lot of stuff. You know, like
like
you
steamed
steamed your
baos.
bao. Yeah, or bun bao is what we call it. Or you steam like your rice cakes. So we didn't bake a ton of stuff. So baking was new to me.
Oh, before I forget,
Yeah.
just now that I saw it,
Yeah.
your Vietnamese coffee.
Oh yeah.
It is so good. Is there like a special way you prepare it, or is it like?
It's the classic Vietnamese way.
Yeah.
We have a big thin dripper, and we use a lot of coffee beans. Yeah, and we do a mix. We do our own mix of like 2 different types of coffee beans, and then we just let it drip slowly. Again, it's time. It's just the time for the grinds to soak up the water. And yeah, I'll tell you a secret. In Vietnam, I was talking to my aunt and I'm like, why is this coffee hitting so well? It's so good. And she's like, she found out from another place, some places put fish sauce in their coffee.
Fish sauce.
Yeah.
Did you put fish sauce in this coffee?
I did not.
Oh, no, all right.
No, we don't put fish sauce in our coffee. But it's kind of the same idea, adding more complexity. So salt adds complexity and fish sauce.
I'm going to give that a try. How much salt though? Like just like a little bit?
Not to taste. To taste. It's like adding salt to desserts. So cool. It just creates a nice little balance.
I'm going to definitely give that a try. Because sometimes I specifically want to order just for the coffee.
Yeah.
And it's so good.
Yeah. Try it. It might help. Try fish sauce.
I don't know if I'm ready for that. Like maybe we'll try it upstairs. I don't know. Oh, okay. Was there, by the way, was there any kind of culture shock that you went through? Like besides going to school, like what was it that you were like, oh, I didn't realize that this is something that they did in Vietnam, making banh mi. Oh.
The bell has gone. Yeah. So the mixer stopped going. So now the dough's been worked and we need to just check to see if it's ready. So what we want to do is we just grab a handful of dough.
Okay. Am I also grabbing a handful?
Yeah, feel free. Okay. It's actually quite sticky right now. But what we want to check,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's quite strong actually. So what we're checking is for the gluten development.
Yes,
and it's like, is it strong enough? So it's called the window pane test. And you want to just like let the dough slowly stretch. You don't want to force it too much. Yeah. And just kind of let gravity do its thing. And you just want to make sure that you can kind of stretch it really thin and kind of see the light through it.
Okay.
And that's how you know it's ready. I mean, it's tearing a little bit, but I would say that this is pretty much ready. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Good job.
Thank you.
And then now what we want to do is we want to gather the dough. I'm not going to gather it all, but we'll get a nice big chunk.
It's actually a lot stronger than I thought it would be.
It's strong, isn't it? Okay.
Oh my God.
And then, and then what's really important with the dough is to help kind of build strength as well. We kind of want to stretch it out and fold it. And just trying to do it quickly right now, but what I do is I do a big fold. And normally I'd stretch it out, but for this we'll just, and then basically we're going to create layers so the bread is, or the dough is really strong so it can get that nice rise. And then normally I'd let it rest and just work the dough like this. So it's kind of folding it. I would probably stretch it again and fold it again another few times, but for this,
I'm gonna watch you do this. My hands are not as nimble.
Yeah, but we have that. I have to grab a knife, so I'll be right back.
I'll just
be right back.
That is so satisfying. I want to just like, but I know I'll ruin it. Right? Like, it's so perfect.
So
I look like my high school lunch teacher, by the way.
We have a little knife that we label bread. Some people use like a pastry knife, but yeah. So for this, So we would weigh out the dough and divide the dough,
Mhm.
but we're just gonna do it roughly right now.
Oh. Wow, you can just eyeball it. That's cool.
No, I don't eyeball
Oh.
it normally.
Okay.
just for this.
Like, well, what a pro.
Definitely not.
Wow.
Don't know. These are all different sizes and shapes. So then we will like round the dough.
Mhm.
So what we do is we grab this
Oh, do I just grab one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, here we go.
and we kind of like fold it. You can
Just
do this with
fold
pizza
it?
dough too. Yeah, and you kind
I've like you can tell I've baked before, yeah.
of
Oh my god.
and then you just kind of make a little ball like that. And then once you kind of get a shape, you just roll it.
Okay, mine is sticking to the.
Yeah, it's a little sticky. Normally it's not this sticky.
Clearly, I will never work here. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So we have our trays here.
Mm-hmm.
And then essentially what we do is we would fill all the trays with all the baguettes we've made.
Oh.
And then, so it should look just like this. And it would just be full. And then we'd bring it upstairs to proof for a few hours. Depends on the humidity and the temperature upstairs and the kind of ambient temperature. And then we bake.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I actually had a. I know we were talking about technical questions. I guess
Yeah.
let's get this out of the way real quick.
Yeah.
Is there a big difference between like French baguettes and like Vietnamese baguettes? Or is it just?
I haven't made a lot of French baguettes, but
Yeah.
I've eaten a lot of French baguettes.
Yeah.
And I think, they're just really delicious also. But I think they're
Yeah.
just they're just denser and the
Mhm.
crust is thicker.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, which is actually nice because you can leave them out for longer and they stay fresher longer because of that nice dense crust. And who doesn't love a French baguette with butter? But it is different. Yeah,
Oh.
it is different.
Yvonne, what are we doing right now?
Today we're going to be making some croissant banh mi's.
Mhm.
We recently did this at an event at our last Modern Events for their Lunar New Year
Ooh.
series. They're like a really cool venue, just like really close by here. And people really like them. So I think we're going to bring them into the shop.
Okay, so these aren't on the menu yet.
They're not on the menu yet. Yeah.
Okay. Exclusive.
It is an exclusive.
All right,
yeah.
all right. Let's.
Yeah, so we'll get started.
Mhm.
So first we start off with freshly baked croissants. We bake them here in store.
Ooh.
And then we're gonna add on a little bit of the Vietnamese mayo,
Oh,
which
that's
is
mayo.
which is really buttery. You want to try?
Yeah. I definitely thought it was butter. It was-
Yeah, it tastes like butter. Vietnamese mayo doesn't use acid, so it's really rich.
This whole time I've been calling it butter.
Yeah, actually in Vietnamese it translates to butter.
Oh.
Ba is butter. Yeah. So then we're just gonna do a tiny bit of our signature sub sauce. let you
Okay,
try
just
that.
a tiny bit
Yeah,
of the
just a little drizzle.
little drizzle.
Yeah.
All right.
And then you're gonna be making the beef one.
Okay.
So you can just go ahead and fill that
This-
with beef. You don't need all of it.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm going to be doing
Uh-oh. This
This
looks
is-
so good.
this is our pork patty that we make in-house. We make everything in-house.
Oh.
And then,
Is this enough or is it like more?
yeah, I do a little more.
Okay. I wish you can smell through the camera right now because it smells so good.
Yeah.
All
There
right.
we go. Perfect. So we'll move that out of the way.
Okay.
And we're just going to move down the line.
Sure.
So, I don't have tongs. So next we're going to add
Mhm.
our pickled veg. So I'm just going to add a little on mine.
Okay.
Here you go.
All right. You can have carrots, right?
I hope.
A little pickled carrots.
Is that-
Yeah, you can
okay,
do
okay.
a little bit more if you want.
All right. See, I always tend to overfill. Like if I'm making spring rolls or like wontons, I always accidentally overfill
That's
it. and
common. We
it's-
probably are overfilling a little bit,
Oh.
but it's okay. And then next, to
Mhm.
kind of balance out the meat, we're gonna add fresh cucumbers. So I just add
Nice.
2 because it's a croissant.
Mhm.
2 is probably enough.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm
I'd
just
add
gonna-
1 more.
Oh no. I'm sorry.
It's okay. And then jalapeno cilantro. Are you both okay with
Ooh,
that?
I love
Okay.
both of those
Perfect.
things.
So I'd
Okay.
grab, so we'll
Mhm.
do a little bit of cilantro for freshness.
Okay.
And then I would do for the croissant, maybe like 2, depends. How spicy do you want your
think like a
sandwich?
A little bit spicy.
Little bit. All right. all right.
Okay,
Let's
so-
do like 3 for
Yeah.
for the boy over here.
And you can add extra different types of spice if you want to do sriracha or anything like that. What do you think?
Let's throw some sriracha on there.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
all right.
There we go.
I'll take whatever you like, because I want to try the.
I'm gonna decline the sriracha for this one.
Okay,
So
okay.
you can. Yeah.
Is that enough sriracha? You think? Is that?
Yeah. I think
You
that'd
have
give
it
it.
so it doesn't occupy the
Oh no.
area.
Well, I don't.
Yeah, I think
Look.
I think that's a good amount.
Okay.
So it doesn't overpower.
Oops, I forgot where this one.
Put that there. And then we're gonna close the sandwich
Okay.
or the little
no.
croissant banh mi, and then we'll each grab a bag,
All right. I'll hand
little
you.
banh mi Diddy bag,
Ooh.
and we'll just pop it in. You want to grab the whole sandwich,
Oh no.
and then slide it in.
All right. Heck yeah.
Yeah, that looks great. Yeah, there we go.
Ooh. Look at this.
There we go.
Wow.
There we go.
That smells so good.
Yeah.
All right, and that's it. That's the process.
Yeah, that's the process.
This has been so much fun learning how to make a proper sandwich, banh mi.
Yeah.
This has been On Location with Gabby and Harvey. I am Harvey, and behind the camera is Gabby, the man himself, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Yeah.